Hello, my name is Ziad Rejabi. I'm a program manager in Office, and today I'm going to show you how to leverage the Open XML SDK to read very large Excel files. So imagine a scenario where I work for a financial company, and in this company we have analysts that deal with incredibly large files in the order of hundreds of megabytes, and what they do is they update these spreadsheets on a daily basis. At the end of the day, we have a solution or process that runs through the spreadsheets and extracts relevant data. So let's take a look at an example file here. So I have a 380 megabyte Excel spreadsheet, and here it is. And as you can see, there are millions and millions of values applied to all the cells here. So this is a very huge spreadsheet. And what I want to do is I want to read the data inside the spreadsheet. Let's go ahead and close this. And to do that, let me show you how to do this by using a solution with the OpenXML SDK. And to get started, let's take a look at a simple example here. And here is a simple file with just a few cells that with random values associated with them. So let's go ahead and open this up and look at the XML. So to help me out with this, I'm going to use a tool called the VSTO Power Tools, which allows me to open up OpenXML files directly within Visual Studio. So here's the file. Let's go take a look at the main worksheet. And in this worksheet part, you'll see that I have a worksheet element, and as a child of the worksheet element, I'll have a sheet data element. And the sheet data element contains all the data within my spreadsheet within the worksheet. So I have the rows, I have the cell values, and then I have the cell values right here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go and read all of the cell values within my worksheet part. So now that we've seen the XML, let's go take a look at the solution. So what I have here is I have a very simple solution that I'm going to use the SDK for. So the first thing I'm going to do is reference the SDK, and that's the document format.openxml DLL, and also include Windows Base. And then I'm going to reference the packaging and spreadsheet part of the SDK. And I'm going to create this method called the read Excel file using the DOM. So the first approach here is just going to use very strongly typed access to the file format, where for every element we have a class within the SDK, and it loads everything up in memory. So to open up the file, we are going to use the spreadsheet document.open method. So it's just one line to open up the Excel spreadsheet. We're going to grab the main workbook part, which then gives you access to the worksheet parts. So we're going to grab the first worksheet part, and once we have the worksheet part, we're going to go find the sheet data element. And once we find the sheet data element, we can go and iterate through all the rows and all the cells, and for every cell we're going to find the cell value, and we're going to grab the text from that cell value. And we're going to do that for every single cell within the spreadsheet. So let's go ahead and run this. And while this is running, I'm going to go ahead and open up the task manager. So because the SDK right now in this solution is using the DOM approach, it's actually loading the entire part in memory, and when we're using that in memory to go and parse through the file. And as you can see, there is a huge spike in the memory consumption of the solution. In fact, there is a pretty decent possibility chance here that you may run out of memory because this file is so huge. And not only that, but since you're loading everything in memory, it may have some performance issues. So if you have performance concerns and you want to do something incredibly fast, there is another method that you can take advantage of to read your files very, very easily. So let's go ahead and close this, and let's go ahead and use the other method I've created here called FileSax, and let's go ahead and take a look at that. FileSax is very similar to the file DOM approach. Again, we're going to go ahead and open up the spreadsheet, go grab the main workbook, grab that worksheet, and instead of loading the entire worksheet part in memory, we're going to use a Sax-like reader called the OpenXML Reader. And the OpenXML Reader is able to be created on an element or a part. And in this case, we're going to load it up with the part, and like any SACS reader, we're going to iterate through a while loop and walk through every node within the XML tree. And since we're reading the nodes, we can go check to see if the node is of a cell value node. And if it is, we're going to go grab the text. Let's go ahead and run this. And let's go take a look at the memory usage. And as you can see, using the SACS-like approach, the memory consumption is completely constant here. And not only that, but we're able to read the entire file much faster. So hopefully this solution shows you the differences between using a DOM and a SACS-like approach for reading OpenXML files, where the SACS-like approach prevents the exception of out of memory occurring, whereas the DOM approach gives you a much easier access because of the strongly typed access to the XML elements within the file. Thank you.